Well, that's unfortunate, guys. As the title says, why I believe LowTierGod is never going to get banned on Twitch. Yeah, I know. But I guess I can list a couple of reasons as to why Dale will never get banned. And it's just as simple as that. Fortunately, it's just how things are, you guys. Like, even then, if we wanted him banned, you gotta remember there's a lot of bootlickers on that platform, so it's easy for him to stay. But anyways, guys, let's get into some videos, starting off with his associates.
Bro, we was supposed to get the 39.50 to get the lunch league reaction on stream. You niggas failed. Can't depend on a couple of niggas to hit sub goals. It gotta be a whole stream.
Now, these are his associates right here that ended up making him, well, pretty much immune to being banned. As you all know, that the two prime suspects, that also one in particular we're going to be talking about, but he's going to be last out of the whole damn thing. But I would say one that probably got him the most protection in all of Twitch. But before we actually just, start talking about, let's try to have some recap on who we're really talking about. So I'm going to show you some videos, and whatever you want to think of it here, I'm pretty sure you might actually not like it. But let's get into it.
But anyway, just to be clear, fuck you. Fuck the guy that got shot at the rally. This is why I don't give a fuck about showing sympathy. This is why I don't give a fuck. This is why I don't give a fuck about the sympathy for any of you fucking losers, because you won't own up to anything.
Don't take it out on me because your wife left you, Fester.
Nobody is talking about my
all
access grade.
right, all right. Everybody calm down. Jesus Christ.
You got the skin complexion of Uncle Fester. Go worry about your
great, and you've got the voice tone of a guy with an A1C of 15, okay? Good for you.
That's fine. Listen, I don't even know what that means. God bless.
I'm sure you don't. That's why your feet are about to fall off, dipshit. Oh, fuck, you muted me again. Okay,
oh my God.
Listen, all I'm saying is, all I'm saying...
Okay, what are you? What are you? What are you? What are you? Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you!
Got this busted up tooth. Smile for me, man. This was the security guard at...
Right. So, given what we were talking about, his associates, this one is not an associate of his. This is DJ Clancy, the CEO of Twitch. Or I guess from my information, he is the CEO of Twitch. So, right. Now, if we were to message DJ Clancy, what would it be? It wouldn't be something concrete. You can't really give him anything about it. Because even though if we wanted to, guess whose side he wouldn't have picked anyway? It wouldn't have been Dale's. But guess what? Guess the little sprinkle of a reason why he wouldn't have picked Dale's side. Because they're both degenerates. I kid you not. This dude was caught having multiple accounts on Pornhub, and his entire front page is filled with OnlyFans women. You guys know what that means, right? Of course you do. You guys are smart people in this chat. Come on now. You guys know exactly what that means. And then on top of that, let's go off with this little tweet here that says no bigotry will be tolerated. I mean, Dale's just doing just fine. So I guess we're, once again, like I said, like a typical gaming community, we're picking and choosing when you could actually be a bigot on the platform because of your status versus being actually truthful to your TOS instead of just being like, oh, well, he's funny, he could be a bigot. That's okay. That guy could be a bigot. But then there's those people who try to call it out and they're trying to be like, hey, bro, isn't this a part of like hypocrisy in a sense? Because it's being hypocritical. You're saying no freaking bigotry, but you yourself allow a bigoted freaking partner to be on your platform. Why is that? You know what DJ Clancy wouldn't have done? He wouldn't have either had a half-ass answer or just ignore you entirely, just to act like he doesn't know what you're talking about. Again, if you really think about it, Gale is only protected because he's a degenerate. They saw his stuff and they were like, we agree. You know what? If you're a degenerate like us, totally partnership worthy. Like, you have to understand, we lose this situation because we also lose because he's a degenerate. But once more, there's more to that than anything. Because a certain party that is neutral is coming up too. So, yeah, that might also explain something that will be the main part of this whole video. So I hope you guys watch that fully, because you're not gonna like it, and I can care less.
You want to explore clips? And now you have a clip feed. Okay? Suppose you want to check out the stories to see what we missed yesterday. You click there. And now you're in the story. Okay?
Okay. That's very nice.
Yeah.
Bro, we were supposed to get the 39.50 to get the lunch league reaction on stream. You think it's failed? Can't depend on a couple of niggas to hit sub though. It gotta be a whole stream.
Yeah, guys, I know you're probably like, why is this a segment? And why is this important to any one of you guys? Look, I'm gonna freely speak my mind on these neutral people and drop some knowledge on you. Look, the reason why Dale is also going to be considered quite invincible when he's on that platform is because of the same people. It's not the Dale sexuals, keep that in mind. It's the same people who are neutral and just find him to be quote unquote stupid, but would be entertained by what he says and say, oh, he's right though, on everything. No, the types of people that be like listening in that weird deep thinking bullshit because they're inside the red pill circle and they can't help it. Those types of people. So if you guys remember, at one point in time, the neutral people were supporting Dale more. So it would be kind of, how do I say it, two factions versus one other faction. One faction being us. So think of it this way. The neutral people and the Dale sexuals were like a complete unit, a complete team. Right? So every time when someone would speak out against Dale's fucked up actions, right? These types of people would be like, you know, he's a really messed up person, but you know, in all honesty, he made some pretty stupid mistakes, but you all just need to stop trolling him. I don't even know if you guys trolls anymore. You don't really seem like trolls. You seem like more weirdos who hate on him on a daily basis. And this was at the peak of that one in particular trash ass meme. Now, because of that meme, he was also defended by the same neutral people who did not grow up and just kept repeating it on loop again and again and again and again. And it was just like the same old shit. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you guys gotta understand, these neutral people helped Dale get to become invincible as he is on Twitch. There's a reason why no one can actually ban Dale, and it's mainly because of them. It's not because of the trolls giving it attention and shit. It's the neutral people who ended up making him immune to this shit. Because of his meme status at the time, I guess he got a representative or some shit, and whoever this representative is, they can make sure to get Dale out of little situations he's already started. So if you really think about it, it's probably not the Twitch mods entirely. It's more likely the people who represent Dale. And you had to understand, and I'm gonna hate saying this, and many of you are going to not like this. So let's get into it a little bit softly so I don't sound like a complete asshole. Right. So Dale can make a bunch of dumb, low IQ, and particularly low IQ gamers laugh over and over and over and over again, repeatedly replaying the same whack-ass meme over again. Then let me put it straight to you. I feel like, God, this is gonna hurt you guys' feelings. I feel like gamers are really stupid. I'm gonna say that right now as a gamer myself. I feel like the gaming community is full of a lot of idiots. I kid you not. The fact that these neutral people laugh at this shit on a constant daily basis, and on top of that, screw the constant daily basis. Let's remember those emotes that would be spammed in certain people's chats if you didn't like them. That's also why that one emote with the Thunder God thing got banned. Just letting you know, because a lot of people would go into people's chats telling you to basically unalive yourself now. That would be the new way of actually straight up saying that word, or, you know, KY. Yeah, we can get into that, but I know YouTube will think I'm saying it, so let's not. Look, these neutral party people are the reason why the trolls also low-key fail. Because they're so hooked on what Dale is saying, right? Since they're so like, I wish Dale was a good person. I wish LowTierGod was a good person. He's one of the funniest niggas I ever heard in my entire life. What is wrong with gamers, bro? I'm sorry, but as a gamer once more, what is wrong with us? This is why people outside of our whole shit don't fuck with us, because we are so immature. We like the wrong people. And a tweet that supports Dale gets like 95 something K likes on Twitter. Some stupid neutral nutcase gets 95 likes. But when it's someone who calls out the bullshit that he's been doing, it gets like what? 9.5K likes. Why is that? Why does it have to be like we can't get the actual truth out? It's like people don't want to see the bad in this dude, they just want to see the good because he said some really messed up shit. We're the only community, and I tell you this with a straight face, we are the only community that would really go out of our way to dox, to mock the dead, and we are the biggest flip-flops in any entertainment space. I'm sorry, but we are the biggest flip-flops. Like a veteran, for example. Remember Ronnie McNutt? There was no energy there. Why? Because at the time, in the peak of 2022, everyone ignored that. Isn't every quote-unquote masculine gamer like extremely high on the respect of the military? But Ronnie McNutt is an exception? I'm just saying, bro. Look, I'm just saying. So he's an exception to mock. But because Dale said some really effed up shit, we should just allow it to slide because he's just an immature person. See, that's why we are stupid as fuck. Because we don't understand that saying messed up shit is not funny. And these are people that could be 30 years old, 40 years old, 50, still laughing at shit like this. This is how we know we can't mature up. I'm sorry, but this... I wish I could lie to you guys all day and say we can be pretty smart, but there's too many dumb people like that in our community that just piss me off to an extent to be like, why are we flip-flopping so much? Why are we picking and choosing which military person gets to be respected versus, oh, well, he said a joke about that military guy, so I'm gonna let it slide, even though he unalived himself. Okay. Dumb neutral motherfuckers. And on top of that, I did not like that one interview. If you guys know that interviewer, that journalist, did at all towards the baby mama, or I don't even like using the term baby mama. Let me correct myself. The ex of Dale, the parent of his child. I do not like that. I did not like that one bit. But we will show how to properly interview a human being without being disrespectful, without cutting her off, and without doing too much. But hey, that's just me. You'll see Vote Rep versus that neutral journalist interview. Okay? Let's get into it.
Hey guys, so I'm going to be doing this Prince Soul video reaction live through the video. And I'm going to be going through some mistakes that he may or may have not made. From what I heard, it was a very unprofessional interview, so we're just going to watch this together. And we're just going to get our own thoughts together. So let's get this started. We're going to, okay.
Here, because I can't hear. Actually, hold on, wait. I think I might have an idea.
So quickly, what this guy, I hear that he's a LTG supporter. I know about Prince Soul. There are some videos that I have seen of his that I immediately clicked out of due to people sending me videos of his supporting LTG. So I already have an idea of how he is and who he is, but we're just going to leave it at that as we continue the video.
Settings, there we go. Okay.
So,
alright, streamer mode enabled.
And apparently he's interviewing
my output. I gotta put my output through my
baby mother, I believe.
Voice and video, there we go. No, I got the right output.
So this is a bunch of nonsense here. We're just gonna skip forward.
Don't need to say your real name. Don't.
You can call me.
All right.
Oh, I 1000%.
What would you like me to call you?
You can call me Rose, but my real name's Rosalie.
Whoa! No need to say your real name.
Okay, so
I got the right output. How are you?
Okay.
Right off the bat, I can see that he's gonna be interrupting her for some time. So that already kind of gives off that this interview is going to be poorly managed.
Good.
What would you like me to call you? Wait, before you say anything,
yeah,
we are on stream, so I don't want you to say anything that you don't want the world to know forever. All right?
Right. I'm using discretion.
Okay, a lot of discretion, please. A lot of discretion. All right.
Oh, I 1000%.
What would you like me to call you?
You can call me Rose, but my real name's Rosalie.
Whoa! No need to say your real name. Don't say your real name.
Oh, my name's already out there.
It doesn't matter. Don't confirm it. Don't.
All right, so she says that her real name is Rose, and the guy says that everything you would like to say that may not be out there. She says her name, and he stops her, interrupts her, going, No, don't confirm it. But she goes, the information's already out there. But he's, I don't know, this guy, I can already tell this guy is not very good when it comes to interviewing and using viewers' discretion.
Confirm it. Okay.
Okay.
All right, I got a question. So why is it
Yeah.
that you're okay with being seen, or why is it that you are down with this interview type thing?
It's not that, like, I don't know. I'm not even sure what you're going to ask me, to be totally honest. I do know a lot of people are curious, and that's understandable because, the documents got leaked and our pictures got leaked.
So she knows about the documents, and she knows about Dale's daughter being, being leaked as well.
And if I go off subject, I'm super sorry. But I did actually get hit up a few times by people on Facebook and I think Instagram. So I was just gonna stay quiet, but
wait, let me ask you a question. So you know LowTierGod's his internet persona, right? Like people.
Wait,
a
what?
lot of
Say that again?
a lot of people dislike your alleged baby father on the internet, correct?
So the fact that he's keep going alleged when there's already information already out there proving that LTG is a father, and he's going alleged, it kind of tells me that this guy is not very bright, or doesn't know that there's official documents out there provided by Shang Tsung, who gave out this information online, which has yet to be debunked by LTG himself, which doesn't make sense to me. The fact that he keeps going alleged.
So my question is, why
again,
show
keeps
yourself and get tied
her
into all of that? They're never gonna leave you alone, right?
well, I guess so. I try to say this, like, I understand that it looks weird or whatever, but, like, I didn't know him as he is today. Like, he wasn't who he is today. Like, a lot of the stuff that he said throughout the years, like, I had nothing to do with that. That wasn't my creation. That was his creation.
Right. Well, everybody's their own individual, so I know. I get what you're saying. You're not like you don't align yourself with his views. I get what you're saying.
Once again, he keeps interrupting her, so that she can tell her story, about how she has some type of involvement with Dale Wilson. And once again, Solo is still trying to become this alleged person. He's innocent until proven guilty. What is that called? Motive, which doesn't make sense to me as well.
But
right. So, like, even if I'm just out
hold
there,
on, wait. Let me ask you a question. When did you meet him? And like, you can give like a roundabout year,
Ollie and Anna seem so perfect. And what people didn't know was she was screaming.
Skip that. Obviously, he's monetized.
2013.
Why? Because of LTG detracting, me being a former detractor myself, it's pretty easy to be monetized just by making LTG content, but that's besides the point.
How soon after that, the baby came?
We were casually talking, regular type, you're getting to know someone. I don't know, maybe I could be off on a month, maybe like 6 months to 8 months. And then I found out. And then obviously
How old was he?
Changed.
How old was he around that time?
I don't want to confirm that because I don't want to give too much of his information.
Fine. That's fine.
Alright, so my thing is that if she's not trying to give information about the age of LTG doing this whole LTG saga when it comes to a baby, then why even put the information out there saying that you're going to conduct this interview when there's going to be questions per interviewer asking you about this information? So that right there is already one red flag about this interview.
Okay, so the baby came And then his reaction was to dip, to leave?
He was not ready.
We're never ready.
And
no one's ever ready for a baby. That's a baby.
Yeah, I know. It's definitely a different world. That is that is what I gave my daughter, is he just wasn't ready. I felt that was the best.
Let's continue. So you met him, and let me ask you a question. The paperwork got leaked, right? So he is on child support?
Okay. Let me see how I can answer this. There was a judgment made. Those documents are real, and I have them at my house.
Okay, so she's pretty much confirming the documents that she put on LTG is legitly real. It's not faked or, made up. This is legit document information that she has on LTG. Dell Wilson. So I'm curious to see what else that she tells us, which tells us that Dell is reaching his 40th birthday.
But, and I guess I'm just going to allude, I'm not going to actually come out and say it, but when a case is closed, you won't see judgment. Like when you're looking, however you looked up his information, you won't see judgment if a case is closed.
Right, that made no sense. Okay, so she said that she's going to allude about the fact that she put Dell Wilson on child support. But then she's saying that no judgment has been made, but a judgment has been made already. If a person is put on child support, it's already been confirmed and stamped by, the judicial system of having Dell Wilson pay X amount of money for X amount of years for this kid that he's not taking care of. So the fact that she's saying that this is alluded and is not making a final judgment, then she kind of just contradicted herself, and she's kind of turning this into an oxymoron, which doesn't make sense to me, because now she's going against her own wording, saying that she has documentation. You can only get documentation if you're going through the court system, through the process, as well as finalization.
So I'm not
what do you mean?
Saying these
what do you mean the
you?
case closed? Is he on child support or is he not on child support? Because the paperwork we saw is somebody who is currently on child support, or at that moment they were behind on.
Yeah, exactly. So she just kind of didn't make sense with that information there. Was again, that's another red flag of not really buying this interview.
Child support. So did you take him off the child support, or is he on it?
He wasn't behind on child support. When you file, like, it starts from the moment the judgment's made, and then it just starts collecting. So either you have to go in and start paying, like, the months of, so it doesn't add up. But he wasn't behind. There was no behind.
Well, his payments were how much monthly?
It was $998 on the document. So I know it was a little bit
how much
weird
was
to
it monthly?
$998 monthly.
All right, so I don't know. This person doesn't sound too convincing that she is what she says she is. $998, okay, is what I don't know how the U.S. Child support system works. But if you're giving a lump sum or a total amount of $998, let's say a month of child support, he's asking her how much did she have to pay monthly. $998 should be the monthly payment that Dell Wilson should have been paying. So this guy right here is asking trick questions, which I believe she's already answered.
So on the first page, it shows like how much they put, however much they put, and then sometimes they can add on extra costs, for like if the parent is doing child care, or there's extra payment if they need to add like medical.
All right, so here I've seen the document, but I don't feel like going back to the document. But this person here says that, but then it's say $250 monthly. So if she's saying that it's $998 monthly, and then the guy is saying on a document that is saying $250 monthly, then which is the real amount? Which is another red flag of this interview, that this girl or this woman might not be who she says she is.
Medical to help support the kid. So those are just added payments. So the $250 that you saw was just an added mandatory payment to stack on to that 700 and however much it was. So 7, 8, 9. So that's why. That's why I don't know. It was weird for me to read it at first too. I didn't understand, but that's.
Okay, so this sounds like someone who doesn't exactly. She doesn't sound like she doesn't know what she's talking about. She doesn't know her own information on the court system, especially if there's a child involved, especially if there is some payment that Dell wasn't supposed to be making. So when this guy is asking the questions, hey, how much was the monthly payment? And she's going $998 a month. And then one guy is going, but then it say $250. But then she kind of like backpedals and saying, well, $250 is the starting amount. And then she's saying, 7, 8, 9. Okay, that stuff still doesn't make sense to me.
That's kind of how you read it a little bit, but
picture this: you're sitting at home alone watching YouTube
so
videos,
he's definitely monetizing this video.
Motivation to do the thing.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So, my bad. Sorry, I'm choking some water. So, what's your objective with BNC? Because you commented on that. I saw you commented on the on his Sorry, I saw you commented on the documentary 10 times. You left 10 comments on there. What's the purpose of leaving 10 comments on there? It almost seems like you want to be seen.
And that's true. It almost seems like she wants to be found out. A person who isn't involved into the internet and the YouTube scene, especially when it comes to Del Wilson and his shenanigans and his nonsense and how completely narcissistic he is, a person that he's involved with or was once involved with would not want to be involved with him. Look at Elena, for example. She's not on YouTube exposing LTG about all the crappy stuff he's done to her. This person here he's talking to is trying to come out in the sense of fueling the fire to the flame. So trying to make the situation lighter to try to get exposure, but she's going about it in a way that's kind of questionable and questioning her own integrity and her own credibility.
If I'm not mistaken. If I was in your position, I wouldn't want to be seen by neither him nor a community of people that dislike him, or even people who like him.
Exactly.
I would be doing my own thing and doing my mom thing, What's the purpose?
Exactly. So if the documentation is out there and there's people already who has documents and don't really need to go to the source, especially if it's already been leaked, why is this person all of a sudden coming out trying to explain to detractors and this guy here about why he's finally decided to step up and do this interview?
Because like right now you're literally joining the community by doing this. You know that, right?
Yeah,
well, she's not joining the community by doing this, but she's joining the community in a sense of putting herself in a really weird situation to where A, can she be held accountable, or B, is her credibility trustworthy enough for her to be even speaking about the leaked documentation of Dale being a father?
I'm not being hateful. I'm not doing anything that's like I don't know how to explain it. Like,
no, it's not hateful. I'm just saying, like, you literally joining, so you're like literally participating.
This is true. Yeah, it's just a weird situation, I suppose, because on a technicality, I also don't want to be looped into.
So I want to say this too. Hey, Prince Soul, if you're watching this, you're putting yourself in a situation too where there's going to be detractors coming after you and questioning your credibility and your integrity because you're already making Low Tier God videos, and you're doing this this interview about a supposedly baby mother of Dale Wilson. People aren't going to hold you accountable either, only because of now you're trying to play the neutral game of, do I side with LTG or do I side with the detractors? Just know that detractors are now going to have their target on you, questioning your credibility and your integrity. So that's something that you might want to question yourself as well.
Like the persona of
right. But there's no way to separate the two, because everyone who watches LowTierGod sees him as how he is on the internet. They see him as the person he is on the internet. They don't really know how to differentiate. They don't.
Yes, we do. We do know how to differentiate a persona from the internet from a persona in real life. Okay. What you see in LTG is what you get in real life. How LTG is in life is how he is on the internet. Okay, what people say that they met him, that's the mask, okay, that LTG puts on, so that way he's not embarrassed and he's not exposed from being this type of way. Why would you want to be acting, actually speaking, I think people will respect LTG a lot more if he was exactly who he was on the internet. So when people are going, he's nothing like this online, but in person he's cool, that's questionable, because he has done some really outlandish things. People can be how they are on the internet. Why? Because around the internet you don't have a sense of danger. In life you have a sense of danger. You don't know who's crazy, you don't know who's out to get you, and you don't know who's out to scrutinize you. So you're going to put on this mask to protect yourself from the scrutiny and a criticism of people on how they perceive you.
Think that he's a regular person. He's a character to them, and you've become part of the, I guess what you could say, the reality TV show that is LowTierGod. And you're doing that.
But we were brought in.
Right.
I didn't seek this. We were actually brought in by somebody going and doxing us to an extent. I mean, I don't know how much doxing was done, but I mean enough.
I don't know. I didn't see what was leaked. Let me ask you a question. Is he present in the child's life?
No. He's never been.
He's never been from the beginning.
I have stated this in my comments, yes.
He's never been from the beginning.
He's never met her.
Okay, so why did you wait till 2023 to put him on child support? Because that's 10 years later. Well, no, that's 9 years later. Why'd you wait 9 years to put him on child support?
Well, I feel like I'm a pretty tolerant person. I feel like.
So you feel like you're a pretty tolerant person when you have this man who has made a baby with you. You wait 10 years or 9 years to put this this baby through life without the assistance of a father, but then you wait, maybe 9 years later to finally get compensation of raising a baby. That doesn't make sense to me as much either.
I just didn't feel like choosing to take that battle. I felt like it was
it's not a battle, because you're fighting for something that you need help with. You're fighting for something that you have to get your country involved in it and your state involved in it. Okay? It's not about fighting a battle. It's about doing what's right for you and your family, so that way you will have a place to sleep at nighttime and food in your daughter's belly. This woman is, she's not very credible. I'm not too sure.
Just easier if he was not participating. I don't want to, run this course of trying to get him on board. So I felt like I don't need to.
9 years.
We're
9 years,
though.
at. You waited 9 years to get him on board?
Yes. I had texted, I had commented on someone's question, and I did say, to paraphrase, we actually got into a very heated argument, and it was via text. It was not in person. But
this interviewer isn't making a lot of sense to me. She's saying a lot of contradicting things that doesn't really add up onto what a person who wants to handle a situation, you know, as respectful and as zero tolerance as possible. So the fact that, you know, she's kind of like stumbling on her words of trying to find the perfect answer to match up to her story is very, very questionable.
I felt like I needed to hold him accountable, and I didn't know how to do that other than putting him on child support.
So you're still in communication with him currently?
Here are the best books coming out in October that you do not want to miss. In this magical
Happens
cat and
every
mouse
time.
game of
That's
thieves
funny.
and assassins.
I don't know if I want to answer that.
Okay. You don't have to answer
Sorry.
that. You don't have to answer that. You don't have to answer that. So you say he's never been present in the child's life at all?
Correct.
Okay. Do you have any other children, or is that something you don't want to answer either?
Wait a minute. Okay, so he asks her, do she have any other children? And she goes,
I don't.
So that's weird.
Okay. Hey, chat, what y'all want to ask her? Let me know, because I don't want to keep her all night. Sorry, I'm addressing the chat. I don't want to keep her all night. She's been very polite, very nice with us, and very open. And, you know, we've heard a lot. We've heard a lot already. Some people think you might not be. Some people think you might be. Let me see what's going on here. Somebody saying, ask the important questions. What's the important questions?
I know there's a lot of questions that people have, and I really do. I just can't indulge too much, because on a technicality it does like put my life out there more, and
Right.
I want to keep it as small as possible.
Well, you kind of put yourself out there the moment you agreed to do this interview with Solo. Okay, so the fact that you're saying that now you don't want to put yourself out there in terms of, you know, staying confidential, it's kind of a little bit too late for that, because now people are already, again, as I said times and time again, is people are now questioning your credibility. So you aren't really credible in terms of answering these questions that people need to know. So that way the detractors can be like, okay, it's our mistake. Or that way the supporters can be like, hey, listen, I told you that XYZ. But again, it's already been confirmed about these documents. It's already been confirmed that, you know, these stories about LTG being a deadbeat is pretty true.
I dig. Sorry about that. Excuse me.
That I've seen that like talk about like dates and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've seen people say like, oh, it was in 2014 when they started dating.
Hold on.
Oh yeah,
second.
because of like 2018 is when they stopped. I don't know.
Hold on 1 second. Hey, Chronicle Studios, don't tell me what the fuck to do, bitch. Get the fuck out my chat.
Alright, so again, you can see this guy watch a lot of LTG. He has a lot of LTG mannerisms. You could tell that he has a lot of Dale type of aura about him. You could tell that he really consumes the product of Dale Wilson. The fact that you're in this interview and you're cursing at the viewers and people who are simply saying, bro, let her talk, stop cutting her off. Why did you immediately get to the defensive? You are cutting her off. You aren't letting her finish her sentence. You aren't letting her give you the answers that everyone is looking for.
Sorry about that. How the fuck do I block this bitch? Tell me what the fuck to do? Suck my dick. Sorry about that. Excuse my language too. I'm sorry. That's not gentleman-like. Yeah, so you met him, pregnant, he dips, and then he goes on to do this internet thing. And this whole time, were you aware that he was LowTierGod on the internet? Were you seeing him go viral? When's the first time you saw him go viral?
That is a good question. I have no idea. I didn't know the extent of his popularity, but I did, in some conversation, he did say like, oh, I don't know. He made it seem like he may have some popularity, and I was like, okay, whatever. But
he's gone viral though. You've never seen him go viral?
Yeah.
When's the first time you seen him go viral?
I don't know the exact.
Okay, so she doesn't know anything about LTG. She doesn't know about his internet presence. She doesn't know about the most controversy things that LTG has said about not only about myself, but everyone in the SGC and the YouTube community and the detractor community. So the fact that she doesn't know how LTG or how Del Wilson became a viral person on the internet is very questionable, because everyone knows about LTG's viral moment all the way down to 2014 when he went up against Viscount. So that right there should have been the first answer or the first question that she should have asked when, about Del Wilson's persona.
Date, but I think the first things that I saw was a video of him talking about how like females are worthless. I think that was like the first video that I saw, and I was like, oh shit. And then like I saw more, and it's just like, fuck, dude, he's so hateful. I don't know. So I don't know the exact date, but I do remember that video or that stream, whatever the fuck it was. Excuse my language.
Do you believe he's hateful, or do you think that that's like internet stuff he does to entertain his young fan base?
Let's see what she says.
I don't know.
She keeps going. She doesn't know. She doesn't know. She doesn't know. She doesn't know. This is a man that you apparently have known or spoken to and had a baby with, and told you that he may have an internet persona about him. And then the fact that you already knew about the crazy stuff that he said about women, and you don't know how to answer this question correctly, or well, did you say authentically, whatever. You're very questionable. This whole interview here is very questionable, and Solo is very questionable. Again, I know about Solo. I don't watch his content. It's very, very bare. It's very, very minimum at most. Again, he's a LTG Covenant member in disguise, and he's not afraid to show it and tell it.
I don't know. That's another.
You know
question
him. That's what I'm only asking, because you know him personally. None of us really know him. I don't know him.
Right.
So that's why I'm asking.
I don't know. I think because of my history, I don't want to put out more hate on him. So let me just say that.
So why did you comment on a video saying that, he hasn't been doing this for X amount of years? Solo said yourself that she commented on a video about 10 times. You put yourself out there already. So now all the information came on you. All the information is now more curious about, is this person the real baby mother of Del Wilson's kid? Okay, if you had to ask me personally, I'm gonna say no. I think this whole thing is fake. I think this whole situation is fake. And I don't think that neither person is credible.
Maybe there is some stuff that he does just to entertain, because he's
so laughing at a man's demise and erasing himself from the world is for entertainment.
Trying to, as a streamer, you want to entertain your audience, and I get that. I just don't know how much of that.
Have you seen any of the videos where he talks about his daughters, quote unquote, or him having a daughter, or what he thinks about having a daughter?
Oh yes, I have. Excuse me, there's a helicopter going over. I'm so sorry. It's super loud.
No, it's cool. It's cool. It's cool. Those are pretty interesting there, huh? So and when he's speaking like that, you're telling me that that's really how he feels, and he's actually referring to his current situation.
I genuinely hope in my heart that that's truly not how he feels, because that's like, oh, that's so hateful. It's so hateful, and I just can't imagine being someone so hateful. So I want to believe that that's not truly how he feels. Excuse me, I try not to get emotional, but I don't know. I'm not in his mind, you know. And even if we talk and he tells me things, how much am I to believe of what he's telling me, you know? Because,
well, how much are we believed of what you're telling us is true and factual information? Okay, he's asked you questions that you couldn't really answer, and the more important questions you chose not to answer. So this whole interview has been labeled a bust. I personally don't feel like I need to watch any more of this interview. I honestly feel that it's just not a very credible and reliable interview. I believe that this whole thing was staged for views and subscribers. And it's just not very a source to where you want to come and do this type of stuff to prove people that LTG isn't who he say he is.
First off, let me get something straight. Biologically, I'm your dad. Outside of that, I am not your father. See, a father is present through love based off of a love kid, a love child. I am not your fucking father. Biologically, I did help create you. But outside of that, I want no parts. I'm nobody's father. I promise you that.
LowTierGod is a name that rings across the internet for being mired in countless controversy, from insulting the late Brolly Legs about his disability.
I don't give a fuck what that ugly ass slobbering half of a man is saying. I'm not gonna do anything to give that ugly worthless specimen anything to gain any type of notoriety to his pity name. No one gives a fuck about that slobbering ass motherfucker. So who gives a goddamn? If you want to talk shit, then you can get clowned like you're an actual full human being.
To insulting Ceroblast about their transition.
That's exactly why I got this dude blacklisted. He ain't trans. He didn't fucking get his dick slit. He ain't got the balls for that. If you're a real tranny, a real transsexual, cross-dresser, whatever the fuck you want to call it, get your dick slipped. Stop being scary. How you gonna go 50%? If you really about that life, get your dick split like a fucking hot dog. Let them tuck it in. Make a pussy and a clitoris out of your dick. Scary ass motherfucker. While you sitting here playing Street Fighter, bitch. Playing that shit 24/7. Really be about that life and really get your dick split and turned into a vagina.
And the countless hours of video of hateful content spewed from his mouth on a daily basis. There is no shortage of negative content out there about LowTierGod. But when it comes down to it, all of that is just relegated to the internet. Really and truly, there is very minimal real-life impact about all of the nonsense that LowTierGod spreads all over the internet. But in the summer of 2024, it was exposed that the extent of LowTierGod's negative behavior did not end at the internet. It was revealed that he isn't just a character. We finally got certifiable proof that LowTierGod is everything he shows us. A terrible human being. In the summer of 2024, a member of the LowTierGod troll community took it upon themselves to look into his personal finances and pull his full credit report. In that credit report, it was revealed that he has over 6 figures in unsecured debt. But even more interestingly, there was a child support lien that had been opened and closed within a year. After a little more digging, it was found that LowTierGod in fact had a child in 2014 that he'd kept a secret from his community and from the internet at large. And while that act in and of itself isn't a negative, if you are a content creator or a public personality, it may be imperative that you hide a lot of your personal life away from the internet because of the fact that there may be a lot of individuals who wish you harm and may try to affect the people in your personal life. But that wasn't why he was hiding it. He was hiding it because he had never interacted with the child. LowTierGod is a deadbeat father. He abandoned that child. And while I can spend all day going over all the evidence in relation to this, there's much more value in hearing the words from the mouth of the mother of the child herself. So I took the time to sit down with her in a call and have a full interview discussing LowTierGod, their relationship, and all of his characteristics as a deadbeat father. If you wish to get more backstory around what took place at that time that the report was revealed, please go over to my friend Shang Tsung's video. LowTierGod has a 10-year-old daughter and is a deadbeat dad. But like I said, there's also value in hearing from the mother herself. So here's that interview. Yeah.
And just a disclaimer again, I don't know if I'm using that word correctly, but there may be some stuff that I don't answer just because there's, you know, some stuff's a little sensitive, but
yeah, of
I will
course.
try to answer.
Yeah, of course. Now it's your prerogative for you to answer as much as you deem appropriate.
Yeah, and I probably won't like dox Dale, like
right.
As far as like I won't give his address, I won't like clarify, I won't like not clarify, give his actual age. I know everyone wants to know that, but his birth certificate's been I know that was floating around somewhere, but
yes, so his birth certificate did leak. I mean, but he confirmed it on multiple. He confirmed it without confirming it. I'm sure, as you know, he speaks.
he really does. Yeah, I don't know if he's doing this on purpose or if he's just not realizing it because of the world that he lives in. I don't know. It's a trip sometimes, and I'm listening to him, and I'm like, what are you doing?
I believe personally that his stream is his outlet because he doesn't have that many close interpersonal relationships. So he speaks very freely and openly to his stream. And so a lot of the times he will inadvertently reveal information that he would prefer to keep secret because that's the only outlet he really has to talk about these things.
Yeah. I can definitely, I could say that's probably pretty true.
Yeah, because, I mean, I don't know how long ago it was, but he also, he might have shown something that said 11/19/1984 while trying to pull up another clip. And then, I just don't understand. My theory, and you can let me know if you agree, on why it seems he is so hesitant to confirm his age, because it isn't like, in the age of the internet and being a content creator and a public figure, there are a lot of things that it makes sense that you would hide from the public because of, you know, just the nature of the job, and you don't want to jeopardize your own personal safety or your family's safety. But just how old you are, without revealing the year and all that, just feels like something that most people just say. Because it's pretty basic information, you know. You can just say, I'm however old. Like me, myself, I'm 28. But that's basic information. I don't think that anybody could do anything with the number 28, just knowing that about me.
Right.
But for me, it feels that for him, it's an indictment on where he is in life, and he wants to be somewhere he's not. And so to think about going going on 40 in the next 2 weeks, and not having achieved certain things bothers him. And so he wants to just not have that constantly be a reminder that people are like, oh yeah, happy 40th birthday, Dale, you know, in the next 2 weeks, because it feels like he's not where he wants to be in his head.
Yeah. I think maybe, like, as you get older, like, you just start realizing, oh, shoot, I should have done this, I should have done that. So I can kind of understand, like, where he's coming from, but with him personally, it's probably more true.
Yeah. Well,
he's
say
just not where he wants to be. Yeah. But, I mean, you know, I don't know. It's just...
it's an interesting it's an interesting aspect of his personality. But yeah, absolutely. Well, I do appreciate you taking the time to speak with me at length here, Rosalie. Before we get started, how was your Halloween? Did you and your little girl have fun?
Actually, my this is maybe one of the first years I wasn't able to trick or treat with her because I have school. And unfortunately, Halloween is not technically a holiday, and I had a very, very major assignment that I had to start, so I couldn't get out of it. So my sister trick-or-treated with my daughter, so.
Okay.
Not too eventful for me, but she got some candy, so.
Well, that's good. Well, I'm glad she was still able to enjoy the holiday.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so we do. Like I said, I do appreciate you taking the time to chat to me at length here and go over the whole thing. So I'm going to ask you a series of questions. They're not going to be in the most meticulous of orders. We might, leap back and forth between concepts. I'm a rambler as well, so please don't feel self-conscious if you find yourself going on. I'm very interested. I love conversation. I'm very conversational myself. So if you find yourself going into different topics, please continue. Don't feel bad at all, because I will forget my questions and start rambling myself. But yeah, I do want to. I want to start with you as the individual. I feel like, unfortunately, with the whole drama surrounding it, you as a person kind of got lost in the whole thing, because you are still an individual. You're not just an extension of Dale. You have your own wants, your own dreams, you have your own life, your own history, your own experiences. So I do want to take time to get to know you as much as you're willing to reveal without, jeopardizing your own personal safety or things of that nature. So we understand that your name is Rosalie, and you go by Rosalie, correct?
Yeah, few people call me other nicknames, but most people call me Rosalie.
Okay, and that's your preference? You don't really care for Rosie or Rose?
Never been called Rosie, maybe once or twice. A few people call me Rose. My family calls me another name. But, yeah, Rosalie or... No, I don't want to say Rose. Rosalie is preference.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. So we'll go with Rosalie. Are you native to California? Is that where you've lived your whole life, or are you?
Yes, born and raised, California.
California, okay. That's fun. Nice sunshine state.
Yes.
So, like I said, I'm 28. I don't know if you want to say how old you are. You don't have to if you don't want to.
I'm older than 28.
Okay. Okay, we'll go with that. Older than 28. But yeah, so we, of course, the nature of this whole situation is a bit unique, because of how it came to be. What essentially took place was sometime a few months ago, Dale got his credit report leaked because of his inability to safeguard all of his personal information, his social security, his full name, his full date of birth, and his address were online, and a member of the greater troll community was able to utilize that to go to this credit report website, pull all of his information. And the most interesting thing for a lot of people at that time, because it was sort of known that Dale was not the best with money, and that wasn't the most spectacular information, but to see that initial child support report come up on there was a huge thing for a lot of people. And for me personally, I'll go into a bit of how I came to be involved with this whole thing. This was, I don't know, maybe 4 years ago now. I had seen Dale's online personality, and for a while I thought it was just a character. And I was like, well, this is a really annoying character to play. But it would come up from time to time, and I'd be like, this guy's odd. But then I started to look more into his clips, and I saw that, oh no, he has like a really abhorrent, arrogant, mean personality. And a lot of the things he was saying, I thought were really nasty things, and I felt that someone should call him out on it. Because at the time, the only thing people were doing was clipping the information or whatever rants he went on and posting them to YouTube channels. And so I hadn't seen a channel that went into the things he was saying and actually broke it down and talked about why he was a hypocrite or whatever. And that's how I got involved. I started creating content about that. And I spent a year doing that. Right on the dot, at a year, I stopped because I was like, I feel like I've said everything that can be said because Dale repeats himself a lot. So I kind of made a name for myself in the community. People still wanted me to come back and talk about Dale at length. And I never had a reason to until the child support information leaked, because of all the hypocritical things I saw. This was Dale's best kept secret. There was no inkling anywhere that he had a child, and it was the most interesting thing to me. So I looked into it as well. People brought information to me, and comme ci comme ça, here we are. You got involved. So how was that for you? How was the initial leak? How did that affect you?
Well, I think I was like, out of all the years that I decided, because it had been, I was really going to just leave it like me and my daughter are surviving just fine without him. So there was never any intent on going after him ever, because I'm not chasing after that, especially on how he is. So when I found out, I was shocked, and just a slight thought, like, how did this happen? Like, how convenient for this to just happen, right. Like within the year of me putting him on child support. Like, I don't know, maybe a little bit of me felt like, oh, somebody did this on purpose.
Right.
And because he's been doing his thing for how many years, and never had an issue. Mm-hmm. So I kind of felt like maybe it was done on purpose. But then I was in communication with him. He said, okay, it's probably just going to pass. I said, okay. He said, your pictures are leaked. And I don't know. That felt really weird.
Right, I'm sure.
And yeah, I'm getting off track. I can't focus right now. I'm so sorry.
No, it's perfectly fine.
So I don't know. It just felt weird. I don't know. I don't know if I'm necessarily like angry at anyone specifically.
Right.
Like I'll just say the troll community. I don't know how else to like describe them, but I don't know. The only thing that I can think too is someone must have leaked the document without it being redacted, because I had people find me on Facebook,
right?
And I knew it pertained to, getting this document leaked. I was like, there's no way, because it was just a splurge of people, not that many people, few, but still. So I think I'm actually not a little, I think that's really messed up that they exposed that document without redacting our names.
Right.
So then people found me, and I was at first, I said, okay, I'm just going to leave this alone. And then curiosity got the best of me. And I said, well, I would rather see than be blindsided, just in case.
Of course.
So I went on to the YouTube community because I felt that was where the most information that I would probably get, because I don't do Twitch. I don't do Rumble. I don't really do Discord. I only did Discord because of one of my classes. They're like, oh yeah, we're doing Discord to talk about blah, blah, blah. But I never used it. So so I was thinking YouTube's my best bet. So I see people posting, oh, I've seen a picture. So I'm trying to, and I think YouTube was like, oh, you can't say this, you can't say that. So they were restricting my comments, I think. So I couldn't really ask people where did you see the picture? Where did you see the picture? So I had to research myself, and I came across, I think it's kind of like a 4chains, chat. I don't even know what it's called. Kiwi Farms?
Yes, Kiwi Farms.
Okay. I found the chat in there, and then I saw our pictures. Yeah, and then I kind of just went from there. I don't really do Twitter or X, whoever you want to say. So I know that there's our pictures are there too, and people are posting them to him. But mainly I'm in YouTube, just finding out all the information, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, and I just rambled, but.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
And I must say, the LA County Child Support Office is not the best with that information, because when I saw the created report, I was curious, and all I had to do was call them and ask for the documents, and they emailed it to me without much worry. So
okay.
I had seen it. I had seen your information unredacted, but emailed directly from LA County. And I just, at the time, I had been done making content about Dale, and I would never want to, expose innocent people to the kind of people who can be on the internet. I'm sure you've seen from Kiwi Farms, the way they discuss things and how horrible they are is a lot different.
There's no filter. There's no censor.
No, not at all.
It's just raw, very raw.
I didn't. So I mean, I immediately reached out to Shang Tsung because I knew that there were only so many people in the greater community who I respected enough to know that they would respect your privacy. So I reached out to him and asked, hey, have you seen this? Have you heard about this? And he was already working on his video at the time. And we both came to the agreement that, okay, we won't say anything or show anything. We'll just talk about the stuff that Dale has already said. And while we were working on the video, then the full leak happened, and unfortunately the photos were pulled and people started posting them at that time. So we realized that, okay, well, it must not have been very difficult for people to pull the full report as well. But yeah, I understand how frightening that might have been, and to just kind of be thrust into a situation like that. But I understand you said that he reached out to you, did he reach out to you as soon as the leak happened and said, hey, some people might be, you know, coming to quote unquote look for you, or did he only reach out after your name had been exposed?
Well, because I opened child support, since I opened the case, excuse me, we were kind of back and forth, and we don't talk every day, please. I would never, but we were only in communications because we were talking about like the case and stuff like that.
Right.
But he reached out. I don't know the time frame, but he was just like, hey, I just want to let you know somebody got into my credit report and then they found da-da-da-da-da. So
okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
We weren't 2023 is when we like started communications again because of me opening a case.
Got it. Okay. So let's take a break from the modern and go a little bit further back, or I guess a lot further back, to the very beginning. How did you and Dale first come to meet each other?
Okay, so I was at a kickback, like a little party, and he was a friend of the person throwing the kickback, and I don't know, I was drinking, so I'm a little bit more friendly when you drink, because you know, kind of how it rolls. And I saw him. I mean, he's not an ugly guy. I don't know, people may say otherwise, but you know, I was just like, oh, I started talking to him, and he had a really deep voice, and I don't hear that often. So it's always, I'm always taken back when I hear a deep voice, but, and you have a very deep voice too, but, so we were talking, and then I don't know how long afterwards, and I've said this before in other interviews, so you may hear the same stuff, but I don't play video games. Like, I don't stream my video game playing, but I like playing video games when I have time. And I was into Borderlands when it first came out. I don't think it first came out, but I really liked it before the movie. Anyways, I haven't seen it, but I hear it's atrocious, but whatever. So he reached out because I had posted something on Facebook about Borderlands. And I'm pretty sure we were friends. Like, we became Facebook friends at some point. And then he slid into my DMs. And then we started talking about Borderlands. And then it just went from there. And then everything was history. Yeah.
Okay. And did you know him as Dale? Because he does go by DeLon Sparrow now, but did you know him? Did he introduce himself as Dale Wilson?
I'm sorry, I hate my laugh, but
no, it's a good laugh. It's not a bad laugh.
So I met him as Dale. He had the tattoos when I met him. I don't know when he first got them, but
okay.
I think he like would be like, oh, I have like different aliases or something. You know, he's let me see. Try to frame things without like giving too much of personal. I don't know. I know that's weird, but
no, I understand.
I think in a sense he was telling me it was like one of his aliases.
Okay.
And you know, it's strange to me. I'm going to be totally honest. It's really strange to see a tattoo that big.
Yeah,
of not your name.
Yeah, right.
But you know, I'm a strange person myself. I'm pretty weird too. So like, I didn't think like, oh, you know, like, I didn't think anything too much of it. But To each their own, I suppose.
As they say.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, did I answer that question?
Yeah, no, that was perfect. Yeah, because I mean, he has, as he does in his fashion, revealed why he is uncomfortable with the name Dale Wilson now. Which, based on your explanation, it doesn't add up all the way, because you would think that if he had the tattoos at that time, he would have introduced himself as his new name, but he said on stream that he doesn't appreciate the name Dale Wilson because, one, Wilson is his father's surname and his father wasn't in his life. But I mean, look at what he's doing now. So I mean, repeat. And I guess he just doesn't like the first name Dale. Maybe it's a boring name to him. So he thought the Lawn Sparrow would be more interesting. Or whatever his rationale was for that. But he did introduce himself as Dale, and that's how you knew him. And from there, was it a situation in which you guys were just casual, or did you guys form an official relationship to where you were boyfriend and girlfriend and would introduce each other as such, or how did that go?
Okay. I don't think... Excuse me, I should get some water.
Yeah, if you want to take a break.
No, let me just... Need a little bit of water. Okay. Okay, relationship. It just started off like any other relationship that I've started. You know, we talk. We would go on like walks, walk around the neighborhood, and we'd have like deep conversations. And I think we didn't. I don't know if we really went on that many dates. We did go. We ate at a Mexican restaurant, and it was on Mother's Day.
Okay.
And the irony, the foreshadowing happening. But the waiter comes in. He's like, "Happy Mother's Day," and I was like, "Oh no, I'm not a mother."
Right.
Woo! It's a funny thing, but so we went out to eat once that I can remember. It was really just like a regular relationship. We may have started talking about boyfriend, girlfriend. I'm not sure, but yeah, it was still really early. It just, you know, the regular flow of how you get to know someone.
Okay.
Type thing.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
And how long did that sort of? It sounds like it's more akin to like a situationship, as it were. How long did that last?
I wouldn't say situationship, because back then that really wasn't like, you know how that's kind of like a thing now, but
right.
Like I believed we were like talking to become boyfriend and girlfriend. Like it wasn't just a oh, I'm gonna call you late at night. Like we hung out during the day. Like it wasn't a situationship. We were working on it going into a relationship. But like we started talking in March, because that's when I graduated my classes, and then back then I was doing a trade, and then we started talking, and then once I found out I was pregnant in like the beginning of September, so March, April, May, June, July, August, September, so maybe around 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the bulk of our relationship was about 6 months.
Okay. So since it was more of like a courting situation where, you know, you're still getting to know each other and haven't fully committed to being in a full proper relationship, had you ever met his siblings or his parents?
Shoot. No. I think he barely talked about them. I don't remember too much about him talking about his family. I do remember seeing his mother on one of his like Facebook posts. So I remembered her name through that. But I don't think they're active on Facebook. So I never actually met any of his family. Yeah. Shoot, did I answer that question?
Yeah, no, that was it. So with that, do you believe that they know they have a granddaughter, his parents, or do they know they have a niece?
Probably not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't know if he interacts with his, like, I know there's like some stuff about him and his family. Like, I would not be able to like confirm any of that at all. But like I said, I don't know any of them.
Okay.
I've seen pictures of his father and his stepbrother. Because he had a picture. He showed me. He sent me a picture of his dad and his stepbrother. So I saw what they looked like. Because we were having some conversation. I just don't remember why he would send it to me. Why he sent it to me.
Got it. And you said he was. You guys had very deep conversations. Forgive me. And he likes to wax philosophical and speak about how his interests are more outside the box. Is that the sort of things you guys would speak about?
No. We were like his childhood and stuff like that.
Okay.
It wasn't like this intellect type conversations we were having. It was just regular stuff. But you know, he did get personal.
Okay.
Like childhood stuff.
Okay, that's understandable. Speaking about his personality, quite recently, I believe, within the last year or so, one of his roommates that he had for a while, and this would have been after your relationship with him, came forward and revealed some information about how that relationship kind of faltered between he and Dale. Some of the stuff he said was that Dale was a particularly awkward individual, not really an extrovert or a social butterfly. Is that reminiscent of the sort of relationship you had with him? Was he an awkward individual, or is he more like his stream personality?
Definitely, well, and I'm only basing this off of, you know, the time that I spent with him.
Right.
I would say he's more relaxed. I wouldn't call him an extrovert. I'm not one. Well, I can be at times, but awkward. I don't know. It's hard to say because sometimes I'm awkward and sometimes I'm like out of the box type. So I'm not sure if I could give the best unbiased like opinion of that, but he definitely is. The way that he like speaks and how he is on his streams definitely is not how he was when I was with him.
Okay.
Definitely more calm and relaxed.
Okay.
At least that's what I remember in my brain.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it was some time ago. So he is more of a relaxed individual in person. We, as a community, got to see his relationship And what seemed like his relationship style over the course of a few years with the young woman he met after your relationship had ended. And there were a lot of moments where he was quite abrasive with her, even going so far as to threaten her with violence on stream in front of his audience. I understand you guys weren't ever in a full relationship, but does that sound similar to anything he displayed in the time that you were together?
I'm not sure how deep I want to go there.
Absolutely.
I never got in a physical altercation with him. I can say that.
Take your time.
I don't know. I'm not even sure what to say. He could possibly be short-tempered. But like I said, there was no physical, like he never physically hit me or anything like that. But, and if anyone's like comes more aggressive towards me, I do tend to like, how do I explain it? I don't know how to explain that, but like I try to be more joking with it.
Okay.
Because like I try not to take it to a level where it probably shouldn't go.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to get too deep into that because it's like that's my life.
Right.
And I don't want to.
Absolutely.
Sorry.
No, I understand. You're perfectly fine. I appreciate you giving me as much as you've given me so far. It's emblematic of how he has been as a person on stream. He does show a lot of his personality, and having a short fuse is something that we've seen a lot, and it does seem to be more of a verbal abuse thing, even with his ex-girlfriend or just the individuals in his chat. He can get more verbally abusive. So we've absolutely seen that aspect of his personality. But going back to the relationship, so it was from March to September, so 6 months of courting, and then you became pregnant at that point. How did that go? From there, you inform me you're pregnant, and then how does that go?
Not the best. Also, I don't know how deep I want to go here because obviously there's a lot of stuff I don't want to put out.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it definitely stressful. Definitely stressful. There is like, I could make the story make more sense to people, but it's just hard for me to give that information out. One, because it's weird for me to be in the situation to begin with.
Right.
And like, I just don't want like my life out like, excuse me.
No, yeah, absolutely. I understand. It's a lot.
Only because it was very stressful. So
I understand.
Sorry.
No, yeah, take your time. I understand. It's heavy. especially for such a vulnerable, precious time as, you know, pregnancy. I understand.
I wouldn't want to relive it, but I never regret any of my decisions, because once you have a child, nothing else matters. Like, the past doesn't matter at all, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I'm sorry. That's like stuff I kind of don't want to get into.
Yeah, no,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, absolutely, I understand. And then I'll take the time to give me one moment here. Up. All right. Okay, so where were we? I'm just going through my little notepad here of everything I wanted to ask and get some. So we were at okay. So you did say that, you know, he became different, and this was during that period in which you were pregnant. So when did you guys cut communication?
Let's see. It was spotty. Initially, once I said, "Hey, I'm pregnant," it kind of, it was off and on, just because hey, you know, this is happening, or, hey, you know, this is the sex. So it just kind of going through pregnancy. I was just kind of keeping him in the loop, even if, however, our relationship, or however we were communicating, right, whether it was stressful or not, I still had to give him that information, I felt. But so I had to just get through it. But I asked him if he wanted to be on the birth certificate. He said no. So kind of after that, we kind of just fell off. I would hear from him every now and then, but I never asked, you know, I never pried too much. I always was, you know, like, if you want to meet her, you can meet her. And the only thing I asked from him from the get-go was just like, listen, I'm not going to come after you. If you want to give your time, that's all I want for our child, is for you to give time. So I've always kept the door open on that. But yeah, basically it was off, like, once she was born, and just sporadically throughout the years, every now and then I'd hear from him. But it would always end up in a fight. And so, yeah.
Okay. So when you say, so you would constantly provide him updates, you know, throughout the pregnancy, like, hey, this is what's going on. Oh, I got the gender. Here we are. During that time, was he receptive, or was it always a situation in which he was saying that he just did not want to be involved?
It may have been a little bit up and down throughout. But, you know, as he said in one of his videos about female children, and how they are a waste of life, which is the saddest thing in the world.
It is.
I did tell him gender, And then after that, we didn't really speak too much until like I was about ready to go into labor. And I just said, hey, you know, if you want to be there, you can. If you want to sign the birth certificate, you can. He doesn't have his last name. So I felt in her best interest that was the right thing to do.
Right.
So maybe there was some anger there, but I felt just in what I was doing, because why would I, you know, like, why would I give her your last name? But yeah, so after the gender, and then just that little communication until she was born. That was it.
Okay. I must say that's extremely... Yeah, you did. That was extremely charitable of you, for you to still provide him the opportunity to be there even after the birth, to, you know, sign the birth certificate and give him that opportunity to step up. That's charitable. A lot of people won't be so gracious, you know, dealing with someone like that. But
right.
You said afterwards that, you know, it was, after that, it was, you know, maybe a communication or two a year. Was that a situation in which you were reaching out and providing life updates, or how was that going?
Could have been a little bit of that. Like, what does she look like, or, you know, stuff like that. It was very short-lived. Those communications were very short-lived, because I had very little tolerance of bullshit.
Right.
So, and I still, even then, you know, I never said you couldn't. So, couldn't meet her or see her or whatever. Okay. But yeah, just a little tiny communication. And it was probably just like, ooh, what does she look like?
Good. Okay. And you said it was short-lived. How long would you say you continued your attempts with that?
Like a day or two, and that was it.
Okay. So it wasn't like an annual thing, like, oh, she's 2 now, she's 3 now, or something like that?
Oh, it was never like on a specific day or anything, but, you know, maybe once a year, kind of reach out, maybe.
Okay. And you said you would fight in those times. Was it more of a anger with his lack of interest, or was he being more abrasive when you would reach out?
Just because, like, at that point, I just knew that he was not someone that I just didn't want to put up with anything. Like, if he had anything bad to say or something, I just didn't put up with it. So that's probably why it was short-lived.
Okay, makes sense. So that went on for quite some time, and then in 2023, you opened up the child support case. What prompted that? Because as far as I understood from your prior interviews, you hadn't taken anything from him or requested anything from him because you didn't need anything from him.
Right. And what I wanted, he never gave. So, I think, I don't know, maybe like one of the times that we did have our little conversation, maybe he said something about being famous or something, and I was like, whatever. So I kind of brushed it off, but you know, curiosity is a very powerful thing. So I did look a little bit, and I was like, oh, okay. You know, you're not like Will Smith or anything, but
that's a very specific example. He does love Will Smith.
yes. Hopefully, I didn't. I might have irked a nerve there, but so I saw a few. I honestly, I don't know the first time that I heard him talk or like say it on a video about like female daughters. It probably was a little bit of that for sure. And then just like how terrible he would speak about women. And I was like, it just, I don't know. I felt like I needed to hold him accountable for like, and I'm thinking to myself, how can you, excuse me, how can you say these things when you know what you know? It's just like,
right.
I wanted him to be held accountable, excuse me. And I felt like that was the best option at the time to do that. Otherwise, I mean, if I would have just not looked, you know, I would have never known, I suppose. Well, what he was saying in the videos, our past conversations, you know, I knew kind of who he was, I suppose, after everything went down. So nothing really shocked me per se, but for him to say it on a video where other people were watching, it's weird. I didn't like it. And I don't know, maybe some people can look at it as spite, maybe, but it's just, I think I had a breaking point at some point. I don't know what all the videos I watched or whatever, or what was even being said. You know, we probably had a conversation. Oh gosh. Yeah, there was an event that happened, and we got into a conversation. And that conversation did not go well. That may actually have been the tipping point, to be honest. Yeah, I think it was. And I don't want to really go too much into it. I think it was around the Super Bowl. I don't know which year, I can't remember. Maybe 2022.
Okay.
Maybe. We had conversation that was probably the tipping point. But I still, the videos that I've watched, I up to that point, because I know this past year, like, it's gotten even progressively worse. And I'm sure, you know, I don't want to say the word projection, but anyways, yeah, I hope I answered that question.
Yeah, no, that definitely helps paint a picture. So I understand that, you know, that was that frustration, that catalyst to push you even further. I imagine seeing the clips on top of it didn't help, because you understood that he wasn't speaking in a vacuum. There was real life that was also behind some of his ire. But as far as we saw when we looked at the credit report, we also saw that there was an inquiry from a SoCal law firm. It's William J. Zutzius Jr. or something, who specializes in judgment enforcement. So when you took him to child support or family court to get that child support order placed against him, I'm assuming that he did get the judgment placed against him, but he wasn't complying with it, and so you needed to enforce it?
That, you know, I'm not quite sure per se, because like when you open a case, they like retro have you like pay from the month that you open the case, or that let me see if I'm saying this right. Like you file, and then you start getting paperwork from them. I don't know the exact date, but I think it was around, I don't even remember, but they started, okay, he has to pay starting at this month. And then we were still going through, we were still going through it. Like the judgment hadn't been made at that point. So it collected. It was month after month. So it was just collecting.
Okay.
But then I think the judgment was made. And then I think I may have reached out to him and was like, hey, you know, I want you to know that like, this is not going to just go away. They're going to follow you. And I don't want it to accumulate to where you're drowning. Like, I just wanted to give him a heads up, like, to not be blindsided. Because I don't know if he got notification like, hey, you know, payment starts now. I don't know what was sent to him besides like, oh, this is being sent to the other party. Like some of the documents said, oh, they have a copy of this. But as far as like them telling him, oh, you have to start paying now, I have no idea. When he found out what his total was or whatever.
So he
as far as a lot
up in court, like in physically in court with you.
We never, if they sent, because I had my really good friend going through this with me, and we were looking through the papers, and I could not find, like, usually you're like supposed to see the judge and they make the judgment, but I couldn't find a date anywhere. And if they sent me a paper, I never got it. So the judgment was made without us being seen by the judge.
Okay. Got it. Did he ever actually pay anything?
Yes.
Okay. And that was, this was after, like, you officially opened up the child support case, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing, he never paid me anything prior to the case being opened.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Well, I know you've been looking at some of his content out of curiosity, and some of the clips around some of the things you were speaking on. And I know you said that you recognized me from Shang Tsung's video. In that video, we did provide some clips where he had said, and we never believe anything he says, but he had said that the reason, kind of hinting at his own situation, that he felt that he didn't have to be involved and give you time was because there was the financial onus on him to pay for the child. But you're saying that he never gave you time all the way up until you put him on child support. So he's lying. He's using this as some kind of false justification for why he didn't get involved.
Yeah, I don't know what would possess him to say that. Whether it was to cover himself or what. I don't know. But yeah, there was no time given and there was no money exchanged. So I don't know why he would say that.
Okay, because his rationale has been, oh, it's not fair to force someone to be financially responsible for a child. If he was provided with the option to spend time with the child and help raise the child and guide the child, that would be the option he would have taken. But clearly, he has never tried to do that, and that's why you've had issues with him, and that's even why you decided to open up the case, because your frustration with that.
Right, yeah. It was never about like the money. It was just basically accountability and but I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry.
No, you're okay. So going a little bit deeper into the accountability thing, what are you looking for moving forward? Do you think or want him to acknowledge his role and try to become a part of yours in the child's life moving forward, even if it's a minute part moving forward? Or have you completely closed the door on that and you are just coming out now to say it's all true and he can't deny me or her anymore?
Maybe subconsciously I feel like we were brought here and we were put on display, and we're not going to be denied again, I don't know. Subconsciously, maybe it's just you can't do it twice. You can't do this to us twice.
Right.
But I will always have that door open. By this past year with the videos that I've seen, I definitely would prefer them not to meet.
Right.
But if he ever wanted to and she pushed me on it, yes, of course, for sure. But for her mental health, I hope she doesn't ask me to push that subject. But if that time comes, I will do what I have to do, and it doesn't matter about me. And I will accommodate her as best as I can. But yeah, there's nothing gonna come from him that's gonna enrich her life. So we are fine where we're at.
No, absolutely. And outside of that, my own curiosity was, has this been a situation in which now you're more consistently seeing these clips and stuff, or seeking them out and just kind of watching how he is as an individual as more of an educational thing? Or have you just seen what you needed to see and you kind of don't want to see anything any more from that?
I definitely had my fair share. So, yeah, I have a set, what is the word I'm thinking of? I have already permanently associated him with who he is, by how he's been and who he continues to be. So, gosh, I lost my train of thought again. I'm sorry.
No, I understand. So you've basically said that it's kind of solidified for you in your mind that he's not a different person. He hasn't grown with age, become more wise or more kind-hearted. He still has those same negative thoughts.
I do like to always try to see the bright side of things, and even in the most craziest, darkest environment. So even in his case, I do have some optimism there. But I'm not delusional, like to think that, oh yeah, he's going to change.
Right.
I'm optimistic that he could, and I think everyone can, even, you know, the worst of the worst people. But yeah, I hope he does. I really, truly hope he changes how he's speaking with his audience. I hope he lessens that hate and realizes that, you know, you can have a following without being so hateful, and you know, you don't have to keep up with, you know, I don't know. It's this like peer pressure thing of like, well, everyone's doing it, so I have to, you know, fit in this way.
Right.
Like, just, I don't know, if he feels like this is his creation and he has to continue with it. Like, if he has to just see it through, I'm like, I hope you can open your eyes and realize what you've created and, you know, the effects it's having on people. And you wouldn't have this big following of trolls, you know, if that half the stuff you say is, it makes sense as why there's such a big following of people that, I'll say, the troll community. I understand, you know. I hope that he lessens his hateful speech.
Yeah. And I've said it before myself that I believe that he would be far more successful if he wasn't so hateful in the way he spoke about things and a lot of the rhetoric he spreads throughout the internet, the misogyny, his anti-black rhetoric he quite often spreads, just all of that. If he was kinder to the people around him, I think he would be monumentally far more successful, and I think he'd have a lot more opportunities. And it's unfortunate that... Go ahead, sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I don't know if, you know, this is just like his way of coping, you know, like, well, my life gave me this, so I'm going to cope and nobody's going to be able to hurt me. And maybe it's just the lack of showing vulnerability. Like, maybe that's something he can't process, is vulnerability. And that definitely, if he just gives a little bit of vulnerability and, you know, tries to understand what he's doing, I think he could definitely, you know, done way better.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I believe he's been hurt in the past, and I think he's unfortunately and incorrectly attributing all of his hurt to entire swaths and groups of people, as opposed to separating those individuals as individuals who have hurt him and looking at the greater communities as people who are still worth respect and love, unfortunately, because I understand the frustration that comes from his father not being a part of his life, and that shapes his worldview a lot, and the fact that he feels that he would be in a better position if his father had taken more time and interacted with him more, and, you know, that bothers him. But to use that to be more angry at the world and then repeat the same hurt on your own child, you know, the famous saying, hurt people hurt people.
Absolutely.
It's unfortunate that he's perpetrated or perpetuated such vitriol throughout the internet, and now he has, you know, he's a relatively youthful audience based on his metric, and I hate to see these young people you know, getting this message of hate is the way to live and to go with that. And it's truly unfortunate.
Yes. Very, very, very. It's a shame.
Yeah, but as it were, you are, you know, unfortunately, now a part of the community in some sense of the world. I know after this you probably want to fade into the ether, but what yes, is it? I'd love to. Yeah, I was gonna ask, is that what you want? Do you want to just, after this, I know you said this would be your last interview, just disappear and go back to how things were before his credit report leaked and everything, and just not be bothered again?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I probably will hang around just a teeny bit, only because my main focus, I would say, in this community is just looking out for identifiable information, whether it be anything about her life or her picture. If it's circulated, that's where I can't be silent. I will definitely try to figure out how to get that taken care of, because I'm not that savvy with that kind of shit. Stuff.
No, absolutely.
But yeah, I'm definitely. Literally, there's nothing else I could say. Like, I think what I've given is the most that anyone's going to get out of me.
Right.
Out in the community, like in real life, if you know me, you know, it depends. But that's it. Like, I have nothing really to say, but I just want to stick around maybe just for a little bit, hoping that I don't know, hopefully people will be respectful, and, you know, it's a child, and that she doesn't need to be involved. Absolutely. And so for the most part, there's one person that has our picture still up as their profile picture, and I don't know what type of movement I'm getting on that. For the most part, people are very understanding, and they're like, yeah, we're not gonna say her name. Oh, I have said her name in comments, so I guess I should not have done that, but I know her name is out. But yeah, just as long as people just don't attach her at all to any of the videos in an identifiable way, because I know that some people are using pictures that kind of look like her, but you know, that's definitely more of a general sense, so I'm not really upset with that so much. And I am confirming, like, that picture of him holding an infant is not, I mean, obviously not his child. But yeah, I definitely don't want to be that active after this.
And you kind of gave a message, and of course I'll do, if you'll have me, I'll do my best to try to aid in getting as much of yours and her information removed as best as we can. There have been people who've messaged me and been like, hey, have you seen pictures of her and stuff? And I've told them, hey, I'm not going to tolerate it. I'll block you if you try to post stuff. I suggest you don't post anything that's not the right thing to do. As anyone I've communicated with in relation to this, I've advised them that we have to, Dale is the problem, and there's no need to negatively impact your or her life. But overall, if you had one message you could just send to all people in this community about what your desire is moving forward and what you'd like to see and not see, what would that message be?
I don't know. Maybe like, if he if he actually starts to like soften up a little bit, I don't know. I mean, I know people are gonna feel how they feel about him, but like maybe give him space to do that. I don't know. It's a really weird thing that I'm saying here, but like if he's trying to soften up and not be this person that everyone hates, like I hope people can give him the space to do that. I know that sounds weird. Again, I just said that, but I don't know. Maybe more so for him. That's my thought for him, because maybe he does want to change, and it's really hard to change, especially if, you know, you have such a big group of people that don't like you, and they're going to take every single thing that you say and use it against you. But like if you're trying to soften your image, like maybe he won't, because people will just continue to keep attacking him. So he puts up that defense. So if there's a tiny little light of him trying to break through, I hope people will try to let him do that without like hating on him. I don't know. That's a weird thing to say. But also the other thing too is just don't. It's weird because like now, like on Instagram, I won't post pictures of her like face. Like if I do post something, I'm gonna try to make sure I don't have, you know, the frontal image.
Right.
Because I do like. I mean, I'm not that social on social media, but I don't want to be like totally limited because of this situation. But if I do happen to post a picture, you know, just I guess I have to personally really regulate what I'm doing. I have to be more aware of what I'm doing. But yeah, just keep her out of, you know, your trolling. That's all. That's my end game for that, for sure.
Right. And that's a perfectly reasonable request. So in relation to these interviews, has he reached out? Has he said anything to you at all?
Let my silence be the answer on that one.
Okay. Okay, I understand. I understand. Well, overall, I think that's all my questions. I definitely do appreciate your time. It does mean a lot for you to take this whole hour with me and go over the whole story from beginning to end here. But I do wish the best for you and your little girl, and I hope that it all blows over. It seems like it's starting to go that way.
Yeah.
It seems like people are starting to lose interest with the whole thing, and I'm glad for that. So hopefully in perhaps the new year, you know, you go back to your normal life and don't have to hear about this nonsense or have people bothering you about this nonsense anymore.
Definitely. Hopefully that's the new year will bring that. My fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed. All right, well, thank you again, and I'll end the recording. Everything you just heard is true. LowTierGod has gone great lengths to keep this information hidden, but he can't do that anymore. Rosalie does not want this hidden. It is not right for LowTierGod to attempt to reject them. If he doesn't want to be a part of their lives, then so be it. But to reject their very existence is a step too far. But please, as she said, leave them out of it moving forward. She does not want to be involved in the greater LowTierGod discourse anymore. Please don't go posting their photos or any of their personal information. There are a lot of innocent parties involved in this, and there needs to be no more further harm to any of them. All in all, LowTierGod is the problem. Dale Wilson is the problem. Dale Wilson is a horrendous, embarrassing, deadbeat father. And we can only hope that at some point in his miserable life that he does the right thing for his daughter. Thanks for watching. Behave yourself.
Okay, thank you so much, Volt Rep, for actually making a good freaking video. This is respectful interviewing at its finest. You are not pressing the person. You are not making them uncomfortable. I can hear in her voice that she's actually comfortable talking to this person, instead of someone who's doing some weird interrogation tactical shit, who's not a police officer on top of that. So let that be known. Now, like I said, I know the neutral people segment is the longest, but this has to be talked about. Because the neutral people, once again, the reason why it's the longest segment or the reason why we failed. It was not the Dale sexuals. It was not any of us. It was the neutral people. That's why you can't get past Dale. If the neutral people are literally talking towards Twitch, you're done. You can't do anything about it. You have to have some real concrete evidence against Dale in order for him to get banned. And you really gotta give Twitch a reason to ban him. It can't just be a whole bunch of us talking about how many effed up things in the past he's done. It has to be something very concrete, something they're forced to do even though they don't want to do it. Again, the reason why Dale is around is because of marketing. But again, what does he have to offer in marketing when he does nothing? I believe every Twitch partner, unfortunately, is valuable to them. So they can't help it but protect every single person they come across. I don't understand why. I don't know why, but they do it. So the only way how to get rid of Dale entirely is to basically really, like I said, get them something concrete. An extreme reason to the point where they cannot deny any further, even if that representative behind Dale's back is going to defend him. It would be so strong, anything he says is done. It's a done deal. He can't do anything about it. Look, us gamers, or neutral people in particular, and gamers as a whole, we need to get our shit together. Because I know most of you guys who are still laughing at that shit are too old or too young. Too young? Okay, excuse. That's fine. But after your 20s, you gotta stop laughing at that shit. That's weird. Your mid-20s, you gotta mature up, because there's gotta be more to life. You can't just keep replaying a weird-ass meme over and over and over again. Grow up. You people in your 30s, 40s, all that shit, those people who are pushing that age, I expected more from you. You're still laughing at something like this? You gotta go, bro. Your maturity levels are so low, that's why no one likes you in a real level. Because on some real shit, I think people don't like you because you're weird. You laugh at really morbid things that you shouldn't be laughing at, but you take a real sadistic pleasure at watching people get disgusted at your actions. A lot of gamers like doing that, by the way. Why do you think rage baiting is around? Because some dumbass neutral party motherfucker likes rage baiting people. They always love saying shit to get people pissed off. That's what Dale was. I mean, he's admitted it before multiple times. He does shit to piss people off. That's why Kai Cenat was so smart. He got it. He got the memo. He's like, oh, you a rage baiter, so that's why you trying to get my attention. Think about it. The people that like this dude are all rage baiting scumbags. These are the types of dudes that will go on a military veterans page and literally say, lol, you're dead. Haha. I swear, bro. We the only community that finds that morbid shit funny, and then we'll go right back around. Oh my god, I should talk about this real quick. We'll go right back around, and here's what these content creators do. They'll say some morbid shit about people, like the dead people, everyone that can't hear them, that aren't on this earth anymore, and they'll be like, oh my god, he's dead, haha. And then the next moment they get flamed. No, they get everyone on them. People are saying you better apologize now, and then they apologize and they do it again. Isn't that crazy? They do it again just to piss them off. That's how you know we are the only community that's so stupid that our only natural born talent is to rage bait people and repeat the same apologetic bullshit. That's where fake YouTube apologies came from. We the only ones in this community, in the entertainment space, that will literally do things incorrectly on purpose and then do it again, knowing it's going to get us famous for it. Like I said, the more effed up and the more screwed up you are in the head or mentally ill, all those above, you win. You get to be the streamer. You get to be the one that sits around messing with people for no reason and rage baiting them. But hey, no, I'm just talking. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just talking on the neutral people. I forgot that I'm too sensitive. I'm doing too much. Way too much energy. I'm calling out people that I shouldn't be calling out. And gamers are not bad people. It's just them. But them is us. But them is us, people. We're the only ones doing this shit. We're the only ones not mature enough to understand that morbid things aren't funny. And most of us honestly take a sick liking to gore. Most of us end up being school shooters. Most of us end up being killers. Because of that morbid thinking, people. Really think about it. That morbid thought process is the start of it. That's why when women come around us, they feel a certain way. When I talk to a female and I ask them why they don't fuck with gamers, you guys just give a nasty, dark vibe. An uncomfortable vibe. And you know what? She was right. That woman that I talked to, one in particular person that I knew back in my IRL circle, was doing some real fucked up shit. You would think like gore was super funny, seeing people getting their heads chopped off by the cartel and shit. Yeah, you would think that was very funny. You would laugh at that out loud and people would be mad uncomfortable. We're the only ones who would do that though. I'm sorry, we are the only community that finds morbid things funny. Only community that has secretive killers, secretive school shooters in the long run. We got incels in our community that are mad at the world for the fact that they can't get a woman, so they go towards red pill domain to feel a certain way. Look, longest segment of the whole damn thing, but we gotta do better, bro. Gamers, we gotta step our shit up. No more laughing at this morbid shit. Grow up. Some of y'all even too old to be laughing at this. Stop trying to replay a meme over and over and over and over and over and over again because you find it funny because it said something morbid. Find something new to do, bro. For real. You guys are dumb as fuck. I'm the only gamer that realizes this shit. You guys are dumb as fuck. Gamers, we need to get our shit together. We need to get our IQ together. We need to start realizing this is why people don't fuck with us, because we're sick in the head. And then the moment that we admit that we're sick, that's better. The moment that we admit that, that is the process of going through being a better person. But denying it and saying, just because I laugh at something morbid doesn't make me morbid. I mean, it's just gore. You're just being sensitive. Okay, that's cool. I'm sensitive. I'll take it. I'll personally take it, and I'll be like, okay, yeah, I'm fine being sensitive. Just do better. That's all I gotta say.
No woman in history has ever made a man happy. It's not possible. It's always been the BBLs. It's always been the cheeks. Your own mother never loved you. She never did. She just hoped you went to the NBA. Come on, let's talk about it. When was the last time you bought your woman something? Yeah, when was the last time she bought you something? But that's modern women. My second grade teacher let me eat glue, a whole glue stick. And since that moment, I learned to never trust a woman. What'd your woman get you for Sweetest Day? Yeah, nothing. Come on, let's talk about it. No matter what your woman says, when you call her and she don't answer the phone, she's talking to her ex. No matter what she says. Get the call logs. My ex-girlfriend had a baby by our pool guy. By the pool guy. We didn't even have a pool. But you don't get it. You don't get it. You don't get it. If you do not own at least 3 Ferraris, your parents failed. They failed. You can blame them. I got my first supercar when I was in pre-K. I was 4 years old driving to school in 4th gear. You think the police stopped me? My dad used to golf with the chief. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. What's the most expensive thing you own? And before you speak, I already got 5 of them. Say something else. I got 5 of those too. Come on. I haven't been to the movies in over 20 years. There's no need. I just pull up at the actor house, make them act the scenes out in front of me. How you think I seen Training Day? There's ways to get it. You just gotta know the ways. How many Bugattis do you have? Yeah. How many do I have? How much money do you make in an 8-hour shift? Yeah. I just made $8 million in 8 hours. Selling doorknobs on Walmart.com. How is people gonna get in their house? I'm the plug. But you don't get it. You don't get it. You don't get it. It's simple. If my woman don't want me for my money, then I don't want her. It's simple. As a man, why are you not handing your woman your full paycheck every week? They gotta put up with you. You don't think they deserve that? Come on. Sign over the paycheck. What's the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning? Yeah. What's the first thing I do? Thank the Lord that she let me pay all her bills. It's my pleasure. When I got married, I signed a reverse prenup. Yeah. That means when we get divorced, she gets everything. What you think men's shelters are for? Come on. I'm gonna just take my garbage bag and my PS2. What do you think is the first question I ask a woman when we're out on a date? How much is your rent? And do you need it paid? If you cannot afford a babysitter for all 6 of her kids, then you don't deserve no panty drawers. You don't deserve none. As long as there are men on earth, no woman should ever have to pay a bill in her life. Never. It's our jobs. When was the last time that your wife paid a bill? Now, when was the last time mine did? We're not the same. But you don't get it. You don't get it. You don't get it. Not a single woman on planet Earth is capable of being faithful. I went out with my homie girl for research purposes only and found out she was cheating on both of us. Come on, let's talk about it. I had my first kiss in the 4th grade. That same girl kissed my cousin Ray Ray the same day. She was kissing cousins. But that's modern women. Ask your girl when was the last time she talked to her ex. No matter what she said, she lied. They talked yesterday. But that's modern women. Let's talk about it. When was the last time your woman cooked for you? Yeah. And what's her favorite thing to make you? You got 1 of 3 choices. Chicken Alfredo, tacos, or rotel. It's not hard. Because that's modern women. It's modern women. Let's talk about it. How many girl trips your lady been on this year? It was senior year of high school when I realized these women are for the pavement. They're for the streets. I took Mercedes Jackson to prom and she left with Randy Johnson. And Randy Johnson walked to prom. But that's modern women. But you don't get it. You don't get it. You don't get it. Michael Jackson had to wear that glove because he still had a dark-skinned hand. The record label wasn't letting him go out without that glove on. You think they want people to know that he was melanated? You ever seen Oprah wear a pair of shorts? I haven't. You know why? Because he has a wooden leg. It's a peg leg. She don't want nobody to see it. She's been wearing jeans her whole career. Remember when all those people didn't want to take COVID shots? But now they're taking Ozempic shots? In 37 states, it's illegal to fart on the elevator. Yeah, in 37 states. Depending on what you ate, it's an attempted unaliving charge. 37 states. You think Bruce Lee was the baddest man on the planet? I don't. My Uncle Percy put hands on Bruce Lee outside the liquor store on 88th. LeBron James is a cyborg created by the NBA to see how many records they could break. Come on, 21 seasons? The man's a Terminator. You ever wonder why the clock only goes to 12 and starts over? You ever wondered that? It's because the Mayans couldn't count to 13. Let's talk about it. That's why it's no 13 o'clock. But you don't get it. You don't get it. You don't get it. If your woman has ever left the house, she cheated on you. There ain't no way around it. It happened. Come on, let's talk about it. Women only call you bae, boo, hun bun, snickerdoodle when they got multiple men. Let's talk about it. That way they can't mix up the names. My women gotta call me Zorro. It's the only thing I answer to. Come on. Women only want 2 things from men, and that's money and cash. That's it. 2 things. Come on. When was the last time you asked your woman for $40? Yeah. When was the last time she asked you? Yeah. This morning. I gave my 7th grade crush a gift card to the movies for her birthday. She took Ricky Waters to see Barbershop. Let's talk about it. They shared a large popcorn on me. But you don't get it. You don't get it. You don't get it.
Bro, we were supposed to get the 3950 to get the lunch league reaction on stream. You niggas failed. Can't depend on a couple of niggas to hit sub goals. Gotta be a whole stream.
Now, I want to talk about Amo342's ban. You guys know how it is. So, right. Amo342 did state in one of his latest YouTube streams that Sneakio is a possible suspect for banning him. And note, he privated all of his VODs, which really just shows who's behind the scenes of doing things. this also applies towards the associates that we talked about. See, now Dale has a lot of power behind the scenes when it comes to streamers who are like him. Remember, Sneakyo is a degenerate, a loser, a rage baiter, and everything that I just talked about in the neutral category. He's this exact stereotype of what I'm talking about. Rage baiters work together as a unit. They don't go against each other like that, unless if they're trying to rage bait each other. And a rage baiting off, as I like to call it. And this dude literally banned IMO 342. And I know it's him because he's right. Like, how did IMO just magically get banned after making so much money and he went behind Rumble's back or some shit? And not the team of Rumble, he actually contacted Sneakyo. There were leaked DMs on Twitter where he literally was contacting Sneakyo to get IMO 342 banned. Now, if that doesn't tell you how much power he has, I don't know what else is. I don't blame IMO if he didn't want to try to go on a different platform. That would just piss me off. Like, imagine that. Someone has that much power so they can go to another platform and tell you to ban this person. But Dale's not going to be banned? Do you guys see Low Tier Balrog's videos at all? Like, that's his reactions. Like, he's talking about how worthless black people are. And he's allowed to stay as a partner? Okay. But IMO gets to be banned? Alright. Yeah, sure, bro. That makes a ton of sense. To ban IMO. But not Dale. After saying black people have no purpose. Man. I'm telling you, bro. This is what I'm talking about when the neutral party is the most important thing out of all this community. Once again, I feel like trolls, we gotta focus ham on the neutral party. Any neutral quote-unquote motherfucker needs to be exiled. Because most of these guys end up siding with Dale anyway. Like, bro, every single time when there's a quote-unquote neutral person, they're like, you know, Dale's a bad guy. But, like I said before in the third part. Well, excuse me, fourth part. Like, am I the only one noticing this shit? Like, they always pick the side of Dale before anything. Look. Luckily, there's a little bit of something they're doing in the works. But again, it's probably not going to feel the exact same way. Because it's just like, when he was on that website, he was affecting Dale's streams. Dale would literally stop his whole stream to make tons of accounts to literally troll IMO. Or at least consider himself trolling IMO. Like, bro, come on, man. Like, you guys gonna fall for this? Like, you really believe Dale's an innocent person? Like, this is crazy. And yet he's able to abuse the DMCA system like crazy, bro. And then he can now talk to people on Rumble's side and literally say, oh, can I have this person banned? Like, what? Why can't it be fair game on Twitch when we call out the bullshit he's doing, but he's allowed to go on Rumble and ask some partner streamer to get some restreamer banned? That's crazy. Like, they're doing fair use. They're not sitting here actually stealing the content. Like, 90% of the time when I'm in those streams, they're not even watching Dale's stuff. They're actually watching their own thing. So, I don't understand how he should be banned But Dale isn't. Oh, I forgot. The more morbid, edgier you are, the more you're liked in the gaming community. So that's why he gets to stay. I gotta remember this. Like, you only lose if you're a person with humanity. But you win if you lose all of your humanity in the gaming community. You just have to think morbid thoughts, negative things, rage bait people. Think about shooting up schools or shooting up places that you shouldn't be doing, but you're doing it anyway. That is such a based thing to do, right, guys? That is based. Telling someone to unalive themselves? Based. Rage baiting people and talking shit about veterans? Based. Especially if they're dead? Based. All of it. And then proclaim it was a joke and then apologize for it and repeat the same cycle. Okay. You know what? That's enough. Because I think I've said all my piece. I believe Dale is only going to be invincible because of a representative and someone who is going to keep giving him power to do what he wants. Fortunately, as many times as we talk about it, as many times we've proven how much of a horrible person he is and shows he has no value to Twitch, it doesn't matter. They believe he has value. I don't know how he has value, but they can explain to me or explain to someone else or the trolls of what value he serves in Twitch. Like, you're not entertaining, you're a racist, you're a bigot, you're a homophobe, you're a transphobe, you're a hypocrite, you're a deadbeat father, and you're all of the above that spells a stereotype. And on top of that, he told someone to unalive themselves. So is TOS real, or is it just pick and choose who gets a step? Let me know, Twitch. Or more likely, let me know, gaming community. Let me know which is right and which is wrong, because I feel like everyone in this community loves to pick and choose to defend a piece of shit versus someone who's actually calling out that piece of shit for what they've been doing. But I'm sorry, guys. I understand I've been doing too much. I'm going to let you go off here. Just know the only thing we can do is really give them something concrete to the point where they can't deny banning this dude. So, yeah. I'll see you guys in the next video. Your boy, Low Tier Nexan, or Low Tier Chaxele I, out. Prick. Look, guys, I know I started off very aggressive during the whole video, but look, I just feel like every single time when we do the right thing, it doesn't seem like people understand. And I feel like the same people are going to be like, the trolls are the reason why he's popular and all this shit, but I always believe it's never been the trolls. And I will still continue believing it's never been the trolls because it's always a neutral party who thinks that's funny. So it has nothing to do with us anymore. The point is, the only way how we can do it, as we said before, as we were talking, right, is that we have to make sure that we have something concrete to ban Dale on. Now, however, it's up to you guys to get something good and concrete. I don't know what else to say. I really do not know what else to say about that. But my video, or this video in itself, has proved exactly what I've been talking about. So maybe y'all will understand that what I've been saying is the truth. You don't have to like it, right? But it's the truth. I'm sorry. It's the truth about everything that's been going on here. I don't like how it's been going so far. It's just how it is, dude. Look, guys. Thank you, detractors, or viewers, for watching this video. I didn't think you would be going through this long because this video is very long for something that shouldn't be like this long of a rant. But it is. So, I'll see you guys in the next one. And maybe I'll come back to doing clips. I have no idea, but I like doing these types of videos better.